This is the Lost Man podcast, where we embrace the challenges and triumphs of being a modern man in the middle years. Join us as we explore the rugged path of growing older, wiser and bolder in a world that's constantly changing. I'm your host John.
And I'm Matt, and together we'll navigate this uncharted territory with grit, humour and a whole lot of heart.
5,
No,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Lost Man podcast, episode number 000013, unlucky number 13. Let's hope this one's a banger. In today's episode, we are exploring the on-trend topic of Valentine's Day Special.
Yes.
So welcome to the Lost Man podcast, Valentine's Day Special, brought to you by Lost Man Matt and Lost Man John.
Indeed.
We're going to be talking gifts. Do we even care about it? Should you celebrate it? All of these Valentine's Day related questions that a lost man might face at this time of year.
And I think we'll probably use it to drift a little bit into dating.
Dating.
What's the dating scene like in the modern world for the lost men? And
life as a married man. Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it straight away, but I do feel it's more of a dating thing.
Like a honeymoon period thing. And maybe anniversaries are a similar thing to that as well. Or are anniversaries a bit more of a thing?
Like a wedding anniversary?
Yeah,
I'd say we celebrate that.
Right,
We don't celebrate when we met.
No.
So I know some people do.
Yeah, I think it depends on how, I don't know, because you get some people who celebrate their birthday for a whole month.
I hate a birthday monther. The month of birthday. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm happy with like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
It's my 40th coming up, and I'm not dreading the 40th at all. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm dreading the fact I feel a little bit like. And we'll do an episode on getting older and what becoming 40 means. But it's a little bit like everyone's like, "Oh, you must have a party," and I'm like, I'd quite like to just have a few different little gatherings with people. You feel the need to put this thing on, and I guess because what Valentine's Day is really is just a opportunity to spend, a
marketing
commercial
ploy
thing to get people to spend a lot of money.
End of show. Done.
And therefore, if you're watching this, don't feel any pressure to go out and buy any gifts or show any love whatsoever. But it does raise lots of interesting questions, and we thought it'd be cool to do an episode on it.
But before we do that, Johnny, how has your week been? The most important question to ask you, pal.
I think so, yeah. Week has been good. This week is... had a really good week from a training point of view. Things are becoming less...
Oh, I'll tell you what, update us on your New Year resolutions. So, no sugar... and sleep were your...
I would say that the no sugar one was achieved 100% throughout the whole of January. The 9 p.m. bedtimes one...
Has it crept back in a little bit?
Sugar has a little bit, Yeah, but it's like, it's breaking... The reason that I did that was because I wanted to break the habit, which had turned into a daily Tony's Chocolonely.
Tony Chocolonely per 1 bar per night.
So... that has happened, but the sleeping one, I slipped up a couple of times during January, nothing serious.
That's a pretty tough one too, because life can get in, like that compared to sugar you're in complete control of, whereas I'd say sleep, there are points where work might dictate that you've got to be somewhere, like getting a train back from London late at night, or
Exactly
whatever,
that.
those types of things.
It was exactly that, yeah. And you need to sort of, but what it has done, regardless of whether it was 90% complete or not, which it was, I was pretty good with it. You know, I missed maybe, I would say, if I said that I missed 5 nights of January, going to bed at 9 p.m, then I think I'd be probably...
That's pretty impressive.
Good,
mate.
yeah. And what it did do was it sorted out my sleep pattern as a whole, which was the whole point of doing it. So I think, yeah, I mean, you know, now I am having good sleep. I'm not...
So it's been like a bit of like a reset, like a soft reset on the sleep pattern.
Exactly that, yeah. And I'm not waking up at 5 a.m, you know, I'm getting good, you know, just, as I said, when I first said it and you laughed at it, it was all about improving the sleep hygiene, and that's exactly what it's done.
It's just the word hygiene.
Yeah.
It makes me chuckle.
So so that's that. But in terms of the week, yeah, week's been good. Training has been good this week, which is good. Getting back into a good flow with that after, you know, starting a new job, you know, sort of like a different element to the routine, meaning that, you know, I'm having to figure out where training fits into that. So been able to get a nice groove going with that.
You've done a few early morning ones, haven't you?
I'm training early in the morning at the moment, yeah, especially in the week.
That is the time to train. It's just the time.
I 100% think it's the time.
It's just because you can fit it in on any day just by getting up at the right time.
Well, the challenge with it was, because that's when I like to train anyway, but I couldn't do that because I was having to go up to Ribchester a few times a week because of the new job, and I had to shadow a certain person, and the reliance on having to shadow that person is getting less and less, which means that I can work out of the Manchester office more and more, which means I can get the morning training in, because if the gym opens at 6 a.m. and I have to be on the road for Ribchester at 7 a.m. on the days that I go up there, so that doesn't leave any time. And I like to get in there at 6, you know, train for 90 minutes, do 20 minutes in the sauna. And I know that I could change the routine, the training routine, and just do a 45-minute blast, but I'm not really, I don't know, I just haven't done that. Anyway, so that was good. Had a great week last week with the side hustle. So as you know, we went to see Barbara on Tuesday, did the Barber buy. And out of all the brand conversations that we've had, all the work that we've done up to this point, I wouldn't say that it's not felt real, but definitely sitting in the Barber HQ in London. And for anybody out there going, Barber's headquarters in South Shields. Yeah, I know. But they have also got a big showroom. Yeah, well, there might be. If I was watching this, that's what I'd be saying in my head. And I know, but they've got a big showroom in London, and that's where we were. And it was exciting to be seeing the new collections, and exciting to be just back in that building again, where I've spent so much time in the past. But it was also very real. You know, we had some serious conversations with some very serious people in that company, and you know, they told us about what had happened with the business when it went down with Country Attire, and the decision-making process that they'd been through with looking to take on board this proposition. And you know, these businesses are putting a lot of trust in us. They lost big money when Country Attire went down, but they know that that wasn't me, that wasn't my colleagues. And so it's lovely to see those guys have a lot of trust in us. But yeah, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that spending that time with Barber, out of everything that we've done up until this point, was really real. And after this podcast today, I'm going to go and speak. We're having called an all hands meeting, which is just anybody that's involved with the project. We get together at Rick and Jen's, and we're going to sit down and just would go, right, okay, this is exactly what we need to do in this next week.
Yeah, because it's kind of picking up pace, isn't it now?
It's definitely picking up pace. You know, we've told Barber that we're going to soft launch the brand, soft launch the proposal, the proposition at the end of March, April.
Oh wow, gosh, that's soon then.
Bloody hell, you're telling me. And it's also going to be grand launched in July. And the thing with that is that that's actually handing the responsibility over to me and Andrew now, because I look after, not just the relationships, but also the marketing side of things. Then obviously he's working on the dev, and that's what it is. Development, as in like
website.
Yeah. So really exciting stuff. I'm off this week as well to go and see a couple of other brands, and so I'm going to go and see Penelope Chilvers.
No idea who they are.
We've got Penelope Chilvers, Paul Smith, and a brand called Pyrenex and a brand called Woolrich. Got to do the buys for all 4 of them in one day. So yeah, the crew and myself are going down to London this week. So it is picking up pace, but bloody hell, let's go. I'm ready, 100%.
Very cool, mate. Very cool.
So yeah, all points in the right direction. Yeah, so that's how my week has been. I'm just trying to think if there's been anything else that's gone on this week. There's not really. How about you? How's your week been?
My week has been fine. Just going through the motions, mate. Really, going through the motions of life. In the grind of DZ1, new abbreviation for
day job. Yeah.
DZ1, aka Death Zone 1. Fine. That back in there, fine. Van is just on a bit of a standstill because I'm waiting on some parts. I'm waiting for the seat to be built and fitted, and I'm waiting for my bank balance to go up so that I can buy the next thing, because everything is so expensive. Are you
having to import any parts for this?
No, not import. Actually, I'm waiting for the swivel seat mechanisms, which I've bought from Poland from a brand that I can't remember the name, Andrio or something. Yeah, Andrio. And they're really nice. What makes them so nice is that the other ones that I saw were like super thick mechanisms. So imagine on your car seat you're having to put like 80mm mechanism underneath, which changes the geometry of everything.
Right.
Whereas with these, they're like 25mm.
Nice.
Super slimline.
Yeah.
They were a little bit more than, probably about 60 quid more, I think. So I'm waiting for those. Oh no, they weren't, because I had to pay import duty.
That's why I was asking.
Stupid EU import duty. So I had to pay that. So actually, they probably worked out about twice the price as what the normal ones would be. I think they're about 200 and something quid a piece.
And is that so it's like a captain's chair?
Yeah, I only bought the driver's seat one because I haven't got the We're going to change the passenger 2-seat to a single. But I just thought, to save money for now, I'll get that when we've got the single seat.
Yeah. So will there be 2 seats up front?
There'll be 2 single seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe the price of like a second captain's chair, second hand, mate. Over £1,000. Over £1,000 for a seat. You can't. It's just ridiculous. It's phenomenal.
And you couldn't make one in your
ultimate wisdom.
Yeah.
No, not remotely. What you could do is put in different seats, but I want to go for like OEM plus spec.
Right.
Like
what's that?
Like original manufacturer. So I want to put a VW seat in.
Right.
I don't want to put, because it's heated, and I want my passenger seat at the moment is heated.
Yeah.
And I want to put a heated passenger seat for gins in.
Yeah.
So that kind of adds a little bit to it. But also I want it to be like OEM. I want it to be like, we're going to get them recovered as well in a tan leather.
Nice.
We've had I went to see the trimming person for the company that's building the rear seats. We've got a special seat bed that he sells these, and it's got, we need ISOFIX points, so
Yes.
kind of really narrowed down our options. So we've gone for this one, fortunately just near Chesterfield, so not so far. I went to see him, and then he was like, oh, I use this trimmer near Alfreton, and I was like, oh, I work near Alfreton. So he was like, oh, he's got two, but he was like, we'll use them, you can go and pick your colour. So I went and got the samples, showed them to the boss. She's then picked the tan leather, fake leather, like vinyl, because it's supposed to be really hard wearing, and I kind of want it to be hard wearing.
Yes.
Then when I went chatting to the bloke, he was like, oh, Matt Buck. I said, oh yeah, I only work down the road at Swanee Court. And he was like, oh, Mr. Buck,
Yeah.
you taught my daughter.
Oh, no way.
So I taught his daughter last year.
Discount?
Probably, well, I've already paid the main company for the chair, who are paying him, but for the front seats, which we're not going to do yet.
Yeah.
He might do as a deal. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you like teaching his daughter?
Yeah.
You remember who she was?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good kid.
Yeah.
Worked hard.
Good.
And then, so that's going on. Did I tell you about that company that reached out to me about using their insulation products?
You mentioned something, but you didn't go. I think you said it over text message, but I'm interested to hear.
Well, so one guy saw a post that I'd put onto like a VW group for my videos, and he offered.
And this is for our Book Life.
Yeah, and
the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and he offered some insulation materials at cost,
right,
if we just featured and said where they came from.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's traction. So with that newfound confidence, I decided to reach out to my next thing is the roof rack and lighting, like spotlights. So I decided to reach out to a couple of, I asked you about that, didn't I? I said, who would you contact if you were trying to contact like the PR marketing person? So I've reached out to a couple of spotlight manufacturers to see if they want to get involved in the project.
Yeah.
Yet to hear back. That was on Friday.
You'd be amazed at what lengths these companies will go to, especially if you've got a bit of a following on a Book Life platform.
I don't feel like, I did click over 700 subscribers this week.
Right.
But I do feel like maybe need to be at least 1,000 or 2,000. I don't know, but it's worth trying, isn't it? You don't
100%.
know. You know, the way I pitched it was that it's you can go full mental with you can go nuts go nuts on this. Like, this van's going to look like a beast. Like, it's already lifted, it's got a snorkel, like it's having this badass roof rack on it. I want spotlights, underfloor lights, everything. I want it to be like Blackpool illuminations. So they might think of it as, okay, this person hasn't got a great following, but that, I mean, like, some of that other video's done like 4,000 views, so you never know. Mate, I don't know if that's enough weight at this point.
It's a good amount, mate. It's a really good amount, especially because the kind of traffic that you've got is organic as well. It's not like
haven't done any paid. Haven't done any. The only promotion I've done is put it into a few Facebook groups. So it's most of it is fully organic search through YouTube.
I remember when I worked at Country Attire, I'd only been there for about a year, and I was doing that Tour de Mont Blanc trip. You know this already, but for the people listening, and admittedly, we had a decent audience size with Country Attire.
Yes, huge audience size.
I got a big 75 litre trail pack from Osprey, a full kit drop from Haglofs, which is the stuff that you see me wearing now. Been on a bit of a hike this morning with Will. Camping cooking equipment from MSR, a tent from Terra Nova, like a real amazing competition grade, weighs like 1 kilogram sporting tent for free. Yeah. Because I was like, I'll write a blog. Yeah.
Didn't write a blog.
Wow.
May have wrote a blog. may have done some Instagramming. You did some Instagramming.
I did
and
loads
you also
of
did it for
Instagramming.
charity as well.
I did do it for charity.
So you did raise some money.
Raise some money for young minds, that's right.
I won't bring up the fact that you didn't sleep in the tent and you stayed in the little hostels along the route.
That's true. That was so funny. I had all the intentions, but the only problem with that is I was left lugging around all this camping equipment.
You could have done it with a 20-litre backpack.
Yeah. I could have done. No, that was so funny. I did try on the very, very first night. I did set the tent up and then got in it
and then sacked it off.
And then sacked it off.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, very hastily.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Still did the trip.
Still a good walk, though, isn't it?
Mate, it was 20 kilometres a day for 10 days, and carrying an 18-kilogram pack and over 10,000 metres of elevation.
Yeah, it's good, really good.
Try it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
Yeah,
no, I'm not knocking it.
Tough.
I'm not knocking it, mate. I'm not. The only big hikes I've done are like up to, not even, the GR20, which is in Corsica.
GR20,
which was like a full day of hiking up to one of those. What are they called? Those places where you can skip and have food.
Refuge.
Refuge, yeah. So me and Jins a few years ago hiked up to one of those, and it was like boiling middle of summer. And it was a full day hike up, and it was we had about 3 litres of water with us each, and we got about 100 metres away. We couldn't see it, and we were like, right, we'll turn around. We're going to die here. We've not got enough water. And then someone passed us, and we were like, is it near? And they were like, it's literally just. They were like, oh my god, thank God, we were so thirsty.
The weather. We've said this on the phone before, but the weather, those sunny conditions. I did one with Jay in Croatia a couple of years ago, and it was like 30 degrees. It was just horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
Horrible in that weather.
So anyway, good week. Well, some good positive movements on the van kind of moves. Next week I'm going to fit those swivel seats, take out the double seat, ready for the new double seat to go in, and start doing some insulation. It's all moving. Oh, that's what I was going to say to you, because we booked that, we were talking about it before, because we booked Canada.
Yeah.
Obviously, that impacts the project in two ways, which is, because you said, when will it be ready?
Yeah.
And it impacts the project in two ways, because it's over Easter.
Yes.
And one, it hits my wallet, so I can't spend on the van. And two, it's time away when I wouldn't be at DZ1, if that makes sense.
What do you mean, sorry?
Well, I can't.
Because if you weren't there, you could spend time.
Yeah. So you were saying, when will it be ready? And I want it ready for before the summer, but in reality, I'm wondering whether it will be ready either in summer or maybe I'll have a big punt it at the start of summer or something.
Yeah, start of the summer holidays. Yeah.
But should we crack on with the meat of this podcast? The meat of this podcast.
Yeah.
So Valentine's Day coming up on the 14th. What is it today? The 11th or something? The 12th?
I think
it
is the 11th.
Sunday the 11th.
Yeah.
So quickly coming up for next week. I'll just very quick, my stance on this is very short and sweet. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't believe in it. I think it's a marketing bullshit to make you spend money for no reason. But don't write me off as being a Scrooge.
Yeah.
Because what I believe is that, and this is what I try to do with gins, is that you should do small, meaningful and loving things for your partner throughout the year, not just some big show of affection once a year.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I sometimes, I'm just going to laugh at this because I actually haven't done it for a while, but sometimes buy flowers out the blue. Haven't done that admittedly for ages. But just little things like if you see that they're struggling or they're poorly, trying to pick up a few extra life admin jobs. Just to help out, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Isn't it an opportunity? Yeah, I mean, every relationship you should do that anyway, shouldn't you? And then isn't it an opportunity to give even more. I would say that
we do say Happy Valentine's Day and give another kiss, but that is literally the limit of Valentine's Day for me.
Is that? Do you think that's because you guys have been together for what? How many years? An amount of years.
17 years.
Isn't it true that in the first maybe 5 years of your relationship, you probably did do things on Valentine's Day?
I think we may have done things, but nothing drastic.
Just going out for dinner.
I don't even think. Probably like a nice takeaway.
Yeah.
We have always celebrated anniversaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before we got married, we used to celebrate when we got together.
Yes.
And we'd been like quad biking and random stuff. Make a little bit of a day of it or whatever. And like we always, quite often, we're on holiday when we have our wedding anniversary. Yeah. So we quite often, we would always go out for a nice meal. Yeah. Obviously, with little man, I think we were actually travelling down this year. So we did go out this year for a meal, but we would have done anyway. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I agree with you. I think it's a marketing thing and all that kind of stuff. But I also feel like it's a nice opportunity to just make some food or go out for some dinner. The only problem with that is that you're then just amongst. What I hate about these things is, and it's the same with Christmas, how everywhere just gets rammed with people, and it's kind of. Sort of piggybacking.
It's rammed, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Rammed
that.
in the main room.
Yeah, it is rammed in the main room.
I remember when I was in sixth form, I think, taking a girl out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And it just being like, it must have been like 16 or something. Yeah. Like one of your first proper girlfriends.
Yeah.
And it just cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
I was only earning like £3.25 an hour back then.
Yeah.
Cost me an arm and a leg. For what?
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. Yeah. No.
Why?
I don't know. I wonder if it's one of those kind of like things from the past. I don't know what the history of it was. Maybe we should have had a look at it. Like St. Valentine is a thing.
Maybe we should have done some research.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, if you this is going to sound slightly controversial, maybe. If you feel pressured into doing something like that. And if you want to do it because you want to be nice, then do it. But if you feel pressured by your partner, male or female, I don't agree with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think it should be all one-sided. It maybe should be like a mutual thing. Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and I think in any healthy dynamic it probably is. I think that you probably have got bits of toxicness that swing around in the Valentine's realm. But bloody hell, I mean, I've been single that long, I can't ever remember actually celebrating a Valentine's Day with somebody. In fact, when was the last time I celebrated a Valentine's Day with somebody? My last girlfriend and I got together in the April. That's what I do, you see. I bounce around so that I miss having to spend money on Christmas.
Here you go. Lost man top tip. Only dates between March and November.
I'll say November. they're your cheap months.
And if you hit a birthday, unlucky.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, they're the parameters. Yeah, only set something up from March onwards. Break up in November and try and find that person who's not got a birthday in between those months.
And if you don't manage to do that and have to fork out on a birthday, unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. But at least you've missed Valentine's Day, at least you've missed Christmas, so every cloud has a silver lining. Or you can do what I've done on a couple of occasions, which is actually break up with somebody on Christmas Eve. I remember having a girlfriend, this is years ago this now, and we broke up on Christmas Eve, and I broke up, we split up with her on her doorstep of her house. I went and got in my friend's car, went to drive away, but what I had done was bought her a really good, cool home cinema system. So I got in the car and I was like, I really want that cinema system. So literally walked back into her house, picked up the cinema system from underneath the Christmas tree, walked back out again, got in the car, drove off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I suppose technically you weren't with her.
Totally. 100%. I don't regret it.
Did you
at all
take it back, or did you keep it for yourself?
Kept it for myself. I kept it for myself. I got many good years of usage out of it after that. It was only a short-term thing.
Yeah.
So
just a little side segue. We've got a friend that had a particularly bad timing of breaking up with somebody on New Year.
New Year's Eve breakup.
Let's just rank when would be the worst top 5 worst days to break up with someone.
Okay.
The contenders are
Yeah.
Valentine's Day,
Yes.
Christmas Day,
Yep.
New Year's Day,
Yep.
New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, their birthday,
Yep.
and I can't think of the fourth.
I can think of 2 very obvious
Go on, then.
ones. Day before the wedding. And day given birth.
Oh God.
Imagine.
I think, having recently gone through the birthing process,
Yep.
I would probably say that the wedding day
Yeah.
is number 1.
Yeah, the day before the wedding day, because everything's
on
booked,
the wedding
everything,
day.
Yeah, like the morning of.
You are pissing off so many people.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah. It's very
Especially-
exposed, isn't it?
2, women get very caught up in the wedding.
Yeah. That's a generalisation.
Okay. Some women
Yeah.
get very caught up in weddings. It's a big day for them.
Huge day.
I know for me, I felt a bit more like a passenger. My only responsibility was organising my suit and turning up.
Yeah. But that's quite common, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I think it's fairly common.
I mean, in Matt and Gin's relationship.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I think the baby one would be tough. I think
The one thing I'd say about the baby one is there's a lot of raw, like, emotions and hormones going round.
Yeah.
So that on top would be particularly.
Yeah. But they I think they probably also are a contributing factor. I think, like, I know somebody who's staring down the barrel of a breakup at the moment, and they've got I don't know, 2-month-old or something like that.
Which is a tough period anyway if it's your first, because I guess you just, or maybe your second as well, but you're just getting used to that whole.
Well, it's there first, and I think it's one of those, I don't know, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think in some cases, nothing to do with the person that I just mentioned.
Yeah, maybe it's just not a good match.
Well, I think it can be the case where it's been on the cards for a while.
Yeah.
And
It's sad, though, for the little man or little lady, because,
I agree.
you know, it's nice if they were kind of at it together.
100%. It's really tricky, isn't it? Yeah, I think, and this is what I said to the guy in question, because this person has got another child from a previous relationship, and I think this is probably true of a lot of people out there. You know, if you are, you know, staring down the barrel of a breakup, you have a child with somebody, and you're worried about what everybody's going to think. Oh, you know, that's, you know, X amount of kids to X amount of dads or mums, whichever side of the coin it is, and you're worried about what people's opinions are. And I'll say the same thing which I said to this person, which is the only person's opinion who matters is the kids as they grow up. And as long as you still do your duties as a father or a mother and make sure that you know, all the things that you should be, then that's all that matters. And if you know, Phil from round the corner, or Dave from over the road, or Jenny from work has a few snide comments to make about, you know, the fact that you've got 2 kids, 3 kids, 10 kids to 10 different parents, you know, who cares? because they don't know what they're talking about. They're just bitching and moaning. And as I say, the thing that the thing that matters is, you know, what's
little Jimmy?
When little Jimmy gets older, what's his opinion?
Yeah. True.
You know?
I agree. True.
Valentine's Day is a bit like that, isn't it? It's a little bit like Christmas.
Hang on, we need to rank our days. We need to rank.
Okay, the worst day.
1, wedding. No, birth.
I think the child one is the worst.
Birth.
Just because of everything involved.
Birth, wedding.
Birth, wedding, yes. Then I think Christmas.
I'm going to go Christmas. Yeah. Birth, wedding, Christmas. Valentine's Day next. It's a bit like. Do you think you'd be, if it had happened to you, you'd be like, fuck, dump me on Valentine's Day?
I think the problem with it is it what it does is it leaves a scar on that period of time.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean? So like if you get finished on Christmas Eve, then next Christmas, unless you're completely happy with somebody else, it's going to just be a reminder of what that felt like. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, you know, the day, like the day of having a child, wedding, Christmas, birthday or Valentine's Day? Yeah, birthday or Valentine's Day.
Birthday, Valentine's Day, New Year's Day.
Yeah. Because in some ways, New Year's Day could be a good one because it's like you might wake up and be like, right, forget him or her.
Boof.
Yeah, exactly. It's clean break.
New year, new me.
New year,
I don't
me.
need this. Yeah. I don't need this person in my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Badansk.
I mean, it might all just come out in a hail of drunken New Year celebration.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the morning. Where have we got that very specific example from?
Right, moving on. Anyway, Valentine's Day. We've got a few little like quick fire topic areas surrounding Valentine's Day, which we thought we'd give our view on. Yeah. So starting with, well, I've kind of done the hype, and I don't really get it.
Yeah.
You've kind of are you for or against?
I actually quite like a Valentine's Day. Yeah, I quite like it. I quite like the opportunity to show your appreciation, and I think it's a nice. I don't think it can be a negative. Like not in the same way like with Christmas. I think Christmas is so built up and everybody's got to get involved, and it's like it's so tacky and you've got to do this and you've got to do that and the rules around it. Whereas I think the Valentine's Day can just be something that's a little bit more about you and your partner, however you want to celebrate it, even if the way that you celebrate it is by not celebrating it, you know? And that's your thing. Anti-Valentine's Day.
I might celebrate it this year just to break the mould.
I think it can be. So as a single bloke, do I feel like more lonely as a result of Valentine's Day? Not really. Not in the same way that Christmas would make me feel like that, you know?
Okay. What about then? And we were going to do a poddy on this, which we will, about like maintaining a healthy sex life within a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
But what about if you are thinking of not celebrating it, put a little bit of effort in then. I could do this.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of effort in. We do have these kind of little mini date nights. I don't want to go into too much detail because it's pretty private.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe run a bath for your partner.
Run a bath.
Put some effort in.
Yeah.
Dare I say, buy them some lingerie.
I think.
Where do you stand on that? We're going to come on to gifts. That's a nice segue into gifts. Where do you stand on buying lingerie for a partner?
I'm great. All for it.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm all for anything to do with, yeah, 100%.
Enhanced sex life.
Yeah, definitely. I think this has got a lot to, this will sound really weird, but this has got a lot to do with my nan. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you why that is. because when I was a very little boy,
No, you can't say that.
What I was going to say was, my nan always set the tone with our family, which was, she used to say this thing where she was
Lingerie
like,
evening, everybody.
she used to say, everyone's got the same. So I always grew up in an environment where there was no taboo around what you've got, and she famously said that my grandpa was still, had a bit of frisk about him even on his deathbed, and I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's so weird that we live in this world where every single thing, every single part of not just our DNA, but the entire realm of living organisms on this planet is built to reproduce. Yet there is this weird shame around it, which is nuts for me.
Mate, do you know what? The horniest guy I know is not some testosterone frothing 20-year-old.
Yeah.
It is the technician at work, my tech at work.
Right.
He must be 70 now. He is the horniest bloke I know.
Right.
Like, still at his age, he is always talking about his conquests. Permanent. He's married, but he's always talking about his happily married existence. Should I say?
And I think it's great. I just worry. I worry because I feel like, I feel like there's a lot of confusion about roles at the moment from a gender point of view, and I think that some of the natural stuff that's nice about the push and pull between men and women, like the dominant role, and I'm not talking about standing on bollocks with stiletto heels. I'm just talking about the natural, Are
you saying you want to be pegged?
The natural, the natural sort of, the natural sort of roles that form masculine roles, feminine roles.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the masculine is always dominant or the female is always submissive. It can. But what I mean is that we live in such a world where there's so much. There's so many. How can I put it? Like. It almost leans into cancel culture a little bit, and cancelling plays a big part in certain relationships. Where, obviously the feminist movement is, a huge and very well positioned movement, and stands for lots of good. But there's also an extreme, like there is to everything, to that where it's. Every man is a rapist. An erection is a sign of aggression, and all this different kind of stuff. And mate, I'm telling you now, it exists. I can remember the comment from somebody, and it's a sad place to be because obviously people go through things in life. But the comment was talking about men being sexual predators. The comment was, if it's not all men, then which men is it? And it's just so confusing for everybody out there because I think we're heading in a weird place, in a weird direction from that point of view.
I am, like, on a much tamer note to that. Yeah. I would say it's nice to do traditional male things for your partner.
Agreed.
Which, if you're going to a restaurant, perhaps pulling out the chair for them, or holding a door for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hold the door for you as well, or
of course.
anyone. But it's nice. It can be nice to open the car door for your missus, or help her put a coat on if she's in a dress, or some of those very traditional. Maybe they're British things.
No, they're not at all. But the thing is that in certain circles, you could be accused of being toxically masculine.
I know. I get what you're saying.
No. I'm not making the point. I'm saying that is a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame
that you can't
that it's
do
like
some
that.
of that. It's going to that point beyond. Yeah. Pulling it back to gifts.
Yeah.
So we're a tick for lingerie.
Yeah.
I'm a tick for flowers. I think flowers are nice.
Well, yeah, I think flowers are a nice gesture, definitely.
I don't like teddy bears. Why would you buy somebody a teddy bear just because it's Valentine's Day?
Well, you might be 18 and that's, a nice thing to do. And if you're young and like, what were those teddy bears I used to get for girlfriends at that time? Those,
Did you buy them in bulk?
They were, Me to You bears. Do you not remember those?
No.
They were quite sweet.
No.
Yeah. Me to You bears.
I feel like that's about it for gifts,
And
isn't it?
Boofle. I remember there was a teddy bear called Boofle.
Why not? I urge,
once.
what about, instead of going for a meal, go and do like an experience.
Yeah, all
So
that kind of
like,
stuff.
go quad biking or Valentine's Day paintballing or Valentine's Day skiing or...
Listen, it doesn't make any... It's completely up to the person. If their partner likes teddy bears, if their partner likes skateboarding, if their partner likes going, doing for a bougie meal, that's fine. But it's, I think that... I agree with you that it's nice to do nice things.
Yeah, it's nice to do nice things.
And Valentine's Day presents a bit of an opportunity around that, especially if, like I looked after a dog, I've got him still now, and there's some regulars of mine, Chris and Lindsay and Eddie the dog, and he dropped off Eddie yesterday and they were talking about what they were doing with the weekend, and they were saying, listen, we're so... busy all the time with work and 2 kids and everything else that comes along with life, and we're just using this as an opportunity. So from that point of view, Valentine's Day presents a bit of a mark in the sand.
That is a nice...
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say, do you know what?
Yeah.
Life's hectic, but it's Valentine's Day.
Let's just take a moment.
Let's take a moment. And kind of go from there. But... yeah, it's a concern. Valentine's Day as a single person, I think there's probably people out there who might feel lonely at this period of time.
Yeah, as a single man, does it make you feel lonely?
I think as a single bloke who is comfortable, which is where I'm at now, then no, it doesn't. And the mission in other areas of my life feels greater than, scoring, kind of like some kind of like female conquest or anything like that. As I said, I think Christmas is more kind of like makes you feel a little bit more lonely than now. But no, not really.
Fair enough, mate. Yeah. You had a good Christmas though. We got some. The title of that podcast was Converting
Scrooge.
Which worked a little bit.
Yeah.
Any other points that we wanted to pick up for the Valentine's Day special?
I think that we were going to talk a little bit about relationships in general and touch on some confusing stuff around nice guy syndrome, but it doesn't feel like the right episode. I think we can do a more serious episode on that. Yeah. This feels a little bit more light-hearted, a bit more of a, playful episode.
Episode. Well, shall we call it there?
Yeah.
So, have a great Valentine's Day.
Yeah, whatever you're doing.
From 2 lost men to our lost men
to the
audience.
Lost universe.
To the lost
We're
universe.
still trying to work out what our name of our community is.
Yeah, we haven't worked that out yet.
No.
Any ideas would be welcome.
Yeah.
I think from this episode I've taken away, although I don't agree with it, that it's a nice kind of excuse to do something nice.
Yeah, or the opportunity.
Yeah. That's my takeaway.
Yeah.
And
Do you think just generally before we finish on the subject of, because Valentine's Day is an opportunity to give somebody a card, so is Christmas, so are birthdays.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I wrote a card.
Mate,
do you think giving cards is gone?
Mate, don't get me started on cards. My mum Oh my God.
Yeah.
If it's like,
Yeah.
if she had her way, I'd be sending a card a week.
Yeah.
A card a day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't send Christmas cards, certainly don't send Valentine's cards, do send an anniversary card.
Yeah, anniversary card is a nice one. Yeah.
Obvious birthday ones to immediate family.
Yeah.
Immediate family.
Yeah.
But that is about it. I think we're of a generation, I think it's our generation. One thing that Ginny does, which I think is really nice, is she does send thank you cards for any gifts that little man gets.
Yeah.
Which I think is, and actually I was chatting to someone the other day about this, and she was talking about in her role as an auntie, she was like, I'm not going to bother with getting those. This was around Christmas, getting some Christmas gifts for them. Yada yada yada. They never appreciate it. Like they never even say thank you. So I can see why
the kids.
Yeah, I think I can see why if it's nice to, especially if you get, because you kind of get presents when kids are young off random, like random family members or cousins and aunts and things that maybe they haven't bought you anything for a long time. So I think it's nice in that situation to give a card, just as like we take a picture of him and
yeah, they're lovely.
Get them printed out. I think we've sent you one before.
Yeah, you have, and I keep those, and I've got those off other friends of mine. Thank you cards with the picture of the baby on. I think they're nice things to keep hold of, but there's something to them, isn't there? Whereas just
what about you and cards?
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't give cards ever.
No,
never ever. And I never have, and I just I'm not that bothered about receiving them. Yeah. No, I'm not that bothered about them at all. And I agree with you on the kids thing. I think our friend Mr. New Year's Eve, he told me that I think he's got a 2-year-old. I can't think how old his youngest one is now, but he said that he just wrapped up some of the eldest's toys that he'd stopped using.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Mega idea.
That's a great idea.
Great lost man tip.
Yeah, lost man tip for a young parent.
Yeah.
If you're a bit skint, even if you're not, I just think, just loads of people say they do that.
Yeah.
Wrap a load of the older kids' presents up, put them away a few months before.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And on that note,
Happy
Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day, bro.
Cheers, Dan.
See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, hit like and subscribe.
This is the Lost Man Podcast, where we embrace the challenges and triumphs of being a modern man in the middle years. Join us as we explore the rugged path of growing older, wiser and bolder in a world that's constantly changing. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Matt, and together we'll navigate this uncharted territory with grit, humour and a whole lot of heart.